I would risk my job to protect my life. Hell yeah, I would. And I advise you do the same, because your life is worth more than a paycheck. Hello everyone, welcome to Tactical Safety. This story, another one from the Carolinas. This one is Charlotte, North Carolina. My good friend Sam sent me this video earlier today, told me about this craziness. So now, bus driver, already a pretty dangerous job. You got to deal with a bunch of unscrupulous individuals, people yelling at you, people throwing things at you, just people acting a damn fool. So this clown pulls out a gun and starts shooting at the bus driver. Check out this news story and then we'll talk about it. And the link to this will be in the description box.
Most of the action happened while the bus was in motion. The ride was uneventful until the man with the hoodie got on. 22-year-old Amari Sharif Tobias allegedly tried to ride without paying. Words were exchanged with David Fullard, the driver. In the video, you hear Tobias ask Fullard to get off, but Fullard said no because he was not at a bus stop. The men continued to argue. At one point, Tobias made several threats. Tobias walks behind the driver, and here you can see him pull out a gun. When he walks back to confront him again, Fullard opens fire. The shootout is captured on multiple interior cameras. Passengers duck for cover while Tobias makes a hasty retreat. He's next to the rear exit. So is another passenger who is positioned slightly under him. The driver gets up from his seat while continuing to point the gun at Tobias. He then fires 3 more shots at Tobias, who tumbles out of the bus along with the other passenger. Fullard gets off the bus. From the interior camera, you can see him fire one last shot. From this exterior camera, you can see that Fullard spots Tobias by the sign and fires that last shot. Fullard was shot in the arm and is recovering at home. At some point during the exchange of gunfire, Tobias was shot in the abdomen. He's out of the hospital and in jail on numerous charges.
This piece of trash is in jail. Wish he was in the morgue instead. It'd be a lot better, because this dude he'll probably never be a productive member of society. Trash like that needs to get taken out. And I wish the bus driver had taken him out. But at least he incapacitated him. When he got on the bus without paying, then he demands to get off at a non-designated stop. Now, one thing the bus driver could have done different, when that clown was standing up there in front of the yellow line, you know the yellow line on buses is the line designated for passengers to stand behind when the bus is in operation. Now, if the bus driver had slammed on the brakes right then, that fool could have went right through the windshield. That would have been quite fitting. But he pulled a gun and started shooting at the driver. Unfortunately, the bus driver is not, I think he lost his job. They said he's not on the job right now. He's on leave or whatever. But we already know how this is going to turn out. He's going to get fired, and I sincerely hope that he files a wrongful termination lawsuit, as well as suing them for providing an unsafe work environment. He has a very good case, I think. So hopefully he follows up with that. But to anyone that works a job where they have a policy, a no firearms policy, I wouldn't abide by that. There's no way. I'm not putting my life in the hands of your policy. There's no way. Because if I get in a situation like that where I have to defend my life, I don't care if I lose my job behind it. At least I'll be alive to tell my story, just like this guy is. And hey, Mr. Fullard, if you ever want to do an interview, I would love to interview you, chop it up a little bit. I can be reached at tacticalsafetyga@gmail.com. That's tacticalsafetyga@gmail.com. You can hit me up after all this craziness is over with and everything. I'd love to hear from you. But like I said, this guy pulled out a gun on the bus driver, tried to kill him. They only charged him with aggravated assault, which makes no sense at all. He straight up tried to kill the bus driver, and it's on multiple cameras at that. There's no reason why he shouldn't be charged with attempted murder. And then also, he should be charged with reckless endangerment, because I'm talking about the criminal here, because there were 2 other passengers on that bus. and his actions could have gotten everybody killed. The thing is, like, they have a sign. I don't know if you noticed, but on one of the cameras you can see the signs when you get on the bus, and one of them had a silhouette of a gun and showed it crossed out, indicating no firearms allowed. Like I said, I wouldn't dare abide by that. I carry a gun everywhere I go. Yes, I've been on public transportation before, and I've always had my firearms on me. Always. Because that's where you're going to need it. There's a good chance of stuff happening on the public transit. Just like CTA in Chicago. Happens all the time. I've done several videos on people that needed their firearms on these trains and buses in Chicago. No different in Charlotte. So, like me, I would risk my job to protect my life. Hell yeah, I would. And I advise you do the same, because your life is worth more than a paycheck. This right here shows us why it is so important to always be armed. Always. And like I tell people all the time, even when you're sitting at home, it is important to be armed. I'm sitting at home right now, and of course, I have a firearm on me. Because you don't know if someone's gonna kick in your door, force entry to your house, home invasion. You don't know that. And I've said this numerous times. If someone kicks in your door and you've got to go running past them to get to your gun, hey, you ain't going to be around to tell your story. That's the simple truth. So always exercise your Second Amendment rights as demonstrated right here in Charlotte. So, Mr. Fuller, hope you have a full recovery and everything. And I hope to hear from you. And remember, stay armed, stay vigilant, and stay tactical. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.